I even shook his hand.
Yeah.
Can have a campaigner for CR7.
Sure.
Yes, it was a funeral of this other judge. Why one? A high court judge. Why one? So all the top judges were there.
Yeah.
Why one? So obviously he was lobbying, and you know Zuma was the bad guy, and the law was against Zuma, and you know. So Kesnamo approach her. It's well recorded in the TRC chronicles or archives, whereby Sol Kesna admits hore o tsene ko officing ya Mangope a tshwere briefcase e tshwere tšhelete. Why what? And then a heart and Agamola, he told Mangope hore.
What position did he hold? Because I'm worried because he was the signatory.
Okay, at the time,
Yes.
he was a, how can I say, a guy there. To say how much did they give you? Because Reina, her calculator from 900 million, it means you guys got 225. Why? Well, because Bali they got 675. Why? What? So, no, we got money, but far less. Get 100 or far less.
Yeah.
There's no ways you guys got 30 million. There's no ways.
Mashiane Politically Incorrect. Rutlile ka ditaba ba re Sol Kesna, the richest man during the apartheid years in the north of our provinces, has left 80 million man with bakoni bako koni bothabela bokoni ebudikela bokoni bophirima. And these people seem to be representing that community, that very same community. The gold rush, man, they're all involved. You know, when we grew up, that area was one of those important areas. You would have Morula San, you would have Venda San, you've got San, and of course the biggest of which is the Sun City. I want you to bring it up to speed, and then you are going to unpack this thing. What are these sons? Who were the custodians at the turn of our democracy? How did we end up having CSI programs, you know, corporate social investment to uplift communities, and who chowed these monies? All right, sharp. Let's put on your mic and let's rock and roll. Tell them, Murkuma.
Thank you. Libitso la ka ke Khanya Ntloko. I was born in Ga-Rankua in the early 80s, and then from the, I'd say, mid to late 80s, I grew up in Mabopane. I found a place of my own, not far from Mabopane, but just outside Mabopane.
Yes.
Where I currently reside.
Okay.
Yes.
Mabopane ke Bopline?
Yeah, Mabopane ke Bopline ka Sestrata.
And then Garanga ke
Ga-Rankua.
Okay. Atwa ka mai now.
Atwa ko, I would say the Bantustan.
Okay.
And I live Phuthatswana.
Yeah.
Yes. Rankua ke motho. It's named after Rankua.
Okay.
So hence bare Ga-Rankua.
Sure.
Ke lefelo la Rankua.
Sure.
La Re Rankua.
Okay.
Yes. And then Mabopane ke lefelo le le tlileng soon thereafter Ga-Rankua, whereby now gore le bitsiwe Mabopane, from what we hear, from what legend says, it was to demarcate the border ya Transvaal le the Bophuthatswana Bantustan, hence ba re ke Mabopane. Why what? So ke lefelo le leng gore Re Mangope mo ke mo na bopa Batswana ba phuthileng. Why one? And le bona o ne a ba batla gore ba nne ba bopane ba ska mixa le ba Transvaal wa bona hore ba nne le ngata e le nngwe, hence mabopane, like a bunch of straws or
bopana
e bopana le ska mixan le ba.
Hey, Tautona. So you grew up there. So most of the issues that you're going to be discussed are from your heart. You grew up there.
Yes.
Just explain these sons and how did this thing come about? Because what I want is the story you're gonna paint.
Yes.
People must understand the backdrop of the story. It guy, so we could chow it in pieces.
Okay. The story Sun International, I would say. It starts when Saul Kesner, back then he was a hotel
mogul.
Yeah, mogul kind of thing. Why one? Kamonata alaka.
Sure.
Why one? And then he had this dream ya hula di casino all over South Africa. Adi wana ile good source of revenue and identify the region as having no such facilities. Why what?
Yeah.
So now, because the Afrikaner government, South Africa, the Transvaal, the way you must remember, they are very religious people. When they talk about the Dutch Reformed Church, the Lutheran Church, what? So kreke tsa bona na di hala hore go be le di casino mo South Africa ya bona.
Yes.
Because they could see the social ills which came along with the casino, just like a tavern, where it will have its benefits and the social ills are on. So basically, le mo Bibling, you know, if you're gonna take it that route, or gambling high battle. So that was the policy of bona. So now Saul Kesner had no other option but to approach Bantustan leaders, and he approached them all for that matter. It was not only limited to Remanyane Mangope.
Yes.
However, in this case, Mangope was a visionary, and it was just as he was to become, as he had become the prime minister wa Bophuthatswana. That was in the early to mid 70s. So Saul Kesner approach her. It's well recorded in the TRC chronicles or archives, whereby Saul Kesner admits hore o tsene go officing ya Mangope a tshwere briefcase e tshwere tšhelete. Why what? And then a heart and agamola, he told Mangope hore, I'd like to establish casinos all over Bophuthatswana. This place of yours has got potential. I'm already set all these dreams that tourism and, you know, these big grand visions. And Mangope bought those stories. He bought into the vision. He bought into the dream. But he did not only do that. He went further. He built the dream for Saul Kesner. So in essence, Bophuthatswana government is one of the founders tsa Sun International and all these casinos which were sprawling all over South Africa. Why were mainly concentrated in the Bophuthatswana Bantustan, because that's where the funding was coming from. Why? So from then on, Saul Kesner left Lucas's office for conveniently forgetting his briefcase, as he had put it, go TRC, and then Remangope witse a putha mola a kopana le briefcase arawa e kare ke a kae. It looks like one of mine. Why? And that's how the marriage was christened.
Yeah.
Why? What I got?
Sure.
Yes, that's how the marriage was solidified. So going forward, you had Remanyane Mangope le his Bophuthatswana extracting monies from the pension fund. Why? What? Because now this pension fund were purposed in essence into the development funds. Well, like you would have the PIC, for example, and the GEPF. Those are the models that we put out that were copied. The PIC actually it comes from Bophuthatswana. Why? What? It was taken from Bophuthatswana. Whatever then investment society, Bophuthatswana investment society, and then you are converted into PIC. You have fewer all these monies now outside the whole South Africa to invest. But the foundation at the PIC is actually the Bophuthatswana Investment Corporation and the Bophuthatswana government in a sense.
So this confirmed the others that Tautuna was far ahead of his competition and peers in terms of government administration and a lot of things.
Yes, he was very far. Even, some would even say he was even a greater visionary than anybody in the ANC we've seen so far. From 94 until today. Because how Kalebella, what Lucas Mangope did in Bophuthatswana, he did not only build corporations and companies, he built institutions of excellence. Whereby you had the Bophuthatswana Transport Investments, BTH, Transport, I forgot, Holdings. So that holding company, the Great North, in Polokwane, ebelehebo Ga-Rankua, ebelehebo Bobolanga Libalele. Hence I was saying everything that was built ko Bophuthatswana, it was then syndicated to the other Bantustans that South Africa to develop those Bantustans and take them forward. The same way Sun International was born in Bophuthatswana and then it was built to become this global conglomerate that we want today.
And you get to it's funny when Mangope, not Mangope, when Sol Kestner died, I was actually in Morulasan.
Okay.
Yes, I was there.
You're working or just visiting?
No, we were just visiting, and I hardly ever go there. There was a wedding that we went there, and when the news broke, I was there. And I have a picture.
It was a watershed.
Yes, yeah. And I just want to check with you, man. How did you discover that some of intended beneficiaries of all this great work of Bophuthatswana and what Sol Kestner has envisaged did not
reach
to the intended people? Like it was a brilliant plan of saying, giving back to the community. What actually happened?
All right, my brother, it's what you can call a serendipity. What a wonderful accident.
Why well? Modimo afika letso.
Yeah. Ke wait. Why what? Mara ke wela elore nna ke lwela tsaka. Yes, and then I discovered this thing is much bigger than I thought.
Yes.
Why? Because initially Sun International approached our community in 2015 to say that we are intending to relocate from Mabopane to mainland Maine. However, we cannot just leave Resadira Sebe. There needs to be a give back, a benefit to the community. And I think they were saying that in cognizance of the history, the former Bantustan, and
the relationship.
Why what? So we entertained them, and then they were very promising, and it seemed like they were willing to pull out all the stops to make these things happen. Why what? Because they saw it as a condition maybe of their relocation. Or we cannot relocate without doing these things. And now, in particular, they had planned to repurpose the Morula property to be an internationally accredited hospitality and gaming academy. Whereby with the qualifications of that academy, any child could seek employment anywhere in the world at the best, of these establishments around the world. And his accreditation would be recognized as an international standard.
The cruise ship, anything.
For Las Vegas, you name it.
If you want to be a gambling operator,
or dealer the blackjack Las Vegas, or a chef.
That would
the top cruise.
That would have been brilliant.
Exactly. And our children were supposed to get all of these for free. They're supposed to get educated to world standard for free. as it had been planned and pledged by Sun International. Eish, oitsi flopo. Oitsi mystically gere. Oitsi badi e tlile administration ya Ramaphosa. Ay, bapantita bona ba re serious, because I was at a funeral. I think it was it early or mid 2017? I met Ramaphosa personally. Yes, and we spent the whole day with him. I even shook his hand.
Yeah.
Kenapa campaigner for CR7.
Sure.
Yes, it was a funeral at this other judge. Why what? A high court judge. Why what? So all the top judges were there.
Yeah.
Why what? So obviously he was lobbying, and Zuma was the bad guy, and the law was against Zuma, and the legal fraternity, the judiciary was a good fishing pond for him.
Yeah.
So he was there the whole day. But since ke mo tshwara ka letso, dilo di a thomo beta.
So flopo ko wena or ke ena?
Ke ena ntshetse ka bati daima.
Dilo tsa o da sharaka.
Sharaka ntsha dilo tsa mabepa. Ai. Gore nga ka bo feeling ka yona ke tsore ke ga ka ma it's a like you chama bopa.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, ka 2017, ka di 1 April, that's when the handover was supposed to take place, whereby Sun International was supposed to vacate the premises and then hand over the property to
the community
Amabopa. Yes. And during that time, I was part of the steering committee from 2015 up until why what. So now, around 2016, the liaison officer whom Sun International had deployed to our community, is an accident.
Let's name
around March.
Let's name the person.
Around Nancy Ngube. She was the CLO. Why what? From head office.
So let's get this clear. Nancy Ngube is employed by Sun International.
Was.
And then so your community did not come up with their own CLO.
No.
It was given by
she was deployed.
Okay, sharp.
From head office.
Thank you.
To the community.
Sure.
Yes. And now, from 2015...
You said she was having an accident come March?
Yeah, around March, April 2016.
Accident, ne?
Yes.
Okay.
So, now, from 2015 up until then, she was the contact person, and she would attend meetings. We had almost fortnightly meetings, if not monthly meetings, to plan, discuss, get the paperwork ready, manage expectations, just get the ball rolling. Even during that time, we even went to head office to meet with the head of the legal team, which was Joshela, I forgot her surname, and Simon Gardner. He was the head of corporate development. Actually, procurement. He was the head of procurement, but he was also in charge of what they call supplier development programs. Yes, which is part of the BE charter.
Yes.
So in compliance to the charter, they were also running those programs, and our project was supposed to be the beneficiary of that program. And when we spoke with Simon, hence I said, they're willing to pull out all the stops. We even met with the CEO, Graham Stevens, but just in passing, on that day, where he gave his blessing. Whatever.
Yeah.
So now, I think it was around the month of August 2015. Yeah. So now, come 2016, Nancy has an accident around April. And there were no meetings with her during that time up until, I think it was around November, October. So there was a good 6 to 7 months period where she was not present. During that time, we were just meeting, keeping our plans, tuned up and stuff, and waiting for Nancy to come back and so that the ball can roll. And there were also some administrative duties in terms of signing legal contracts between our community and Sun International, And that responsibility was given to Lebone Motswenyane, the son of the late Dr. Motswenyane. Or what? So also to mention, Nancy...
Before Yahul,
yeah,
Lebone was what in that steering committee?
Okay, yeah. Let me put it into retrospect.
Yeah.
The venue that was being used was the Mount Calvary Methodist Church in Block A, Mabopane. Now, the reason being, Nancy, I think she went to a convent or one of those schools which were established by the Methodist Church.
Yes.
So now, she had a relationship with Bishop Paul Verreyn, who was the head of the diocese, the Gauteng diocese of the Methodist Church. Now, through Paul Verreyn, she was able to secure the vein in Block A. And Paul Verreyn also tagged along during those meetings. He was also coming with Nancy during those meetings because, he was the guy who secured the venue, and he just wanted to make sure that everything was going okay. So by de facto, he became part of the steering committee also. So Lebone Motswenyane, now the Motswenyane family, they are followers of the Methodist Church. They attend the Methodist Church. Now that's how it became involved, because now church members were also invited to say that from this day there's going to be such meetings being held here at church. Those who are interested, please come. It's open to everybody. Although the beneficiaries will be limited in scope, but everybody is allowed to participate in whatever, degree that would be accepted or accommodated. That's how he fits in. So now, when Nancy came back around October...
You have not stated, or Osata, what position did he hold? Because I'm worried because he was signatory.
Okay, at the time,
yes,
he was a, accredited advocate.
Okay.
Yes, practicing with the Tshwane High Court.
Okay.
Yes. So, automatically, he became the legal consultant.
Yes.
Of the community.
De facto.
Yes, de facto. Of the community steering committee.
Okay.
Yes. Whereby there was Nancy and other community members. Sure. So when Nancy came back in around October, November, she explained, well, we could see her, she was in crutches and, I think she was also wearing a neck brace. She explained that she fell from the balcony of her house she was building in Hartebees. It was just this thing. But at the time, we didn't question why did Sun International not send another person. We just accepted her explanation. And then she asked us, where did we end? Now, where we ended was the study, the report, feasibility study. That was done by this other group. It's called Vision Partners. Now, Vision Partners was commissioned by Sun International. During our consultative processes with Nancy Ngcobe. Now, what they did is to go to the ground, do soil analysis.
So, lemon the notes. I do wish it. I do lemon. Yeah, so no,
actually,
no, it's fine. Let's continue.
All right. So now, this Vision Partners, it's actually called Empowerment Vision Partners. So these Empowerment Vision Partners, they did a feasibility study of our whole project. The project was supposed to be what we call an organic, urban, sustainable farming project, whereby there'd be trout farming because of the dam, there'd be aquaponics, for that organic touch, and because also the soil was not best suited for planting vegetables. So hence, we're going to also use the beds, what we call the flower bed system. Yes. So they did a whole study on that, and they even volunteered they even suggested, actually, initially, to say we needed mentoring because most of the people there did not have a background in agriculture, and especially this sophisticated type of agriculture. And we're also going to go into agri-processing. Now, the reason that project became the project was because Sun International has got hotels in all their operations. And they've got restaurants in all their operations. And the people at head office, they loved it so much. They said, actually, this should be like the project that's going to be like the base model for all projects going forward. You know, all CSR projects going forward. So, hence, even the funding was not limited because they wanted to use this as the model for the entire group. So Nancy said, okay, let me go back to head office and hear what they have to say about the study and how can we move forward and engage with the stakeholders. To my disappointment, that was the last we saw of Nancy. When 2017 came, we were asking questions. But, you know, as a committee, you have a chairman, secretary. I was neither of those. I was the CLO of the steering committee.
You are the Nancy of the community side.
I was the Nancy of the community.
Sure.
Yeah, well. So they said, no, let's find out. Let's find out. But, you know, the people who were holding key positions in this committee were elderly people. So I think maybe even technology and even energy, you know, they had challenges. So when it came 2018, you know.
So that's a year after the envisaged handover of April 2017.
Yes, the last engagement was around in October.
Yeah.
And now 2017 passed without any communication, any engagement with Sun International, from my knowledge. And now 2018, I felt that no, this has gone on for far too long.
Something is not right.
Yeah, I need to get to the bottom of this one.
Sure.
Because, you know, this project was actually my brainchild.
Sure.
You know, so I wanted to understand what happened to my brainchild, my project. So when I had Nancy's numbers, you know, obviously, as it would be expected. So I called her, you know, just impromptu one day when I was in town. And I asked her, you know, you guys, you just left in jail without saying goodbye. And, you know, that's not right. You know, I think even, you know, legally, according to BE, that's not how closed. Yes, that's not how you're supposed to exit a community as a casino, especially considering, you know, these buildings were built by our monies. You know, they were built by our government, our Bantustan. And this is how you say thank you.
Yeah.
She said, no, you know, part of the agreement with the government is that we can't take anything. We left that place as it was. We left in a rush. Hey, 1, 2, 3. I was like, no, that's unacceptable. We're going to come in March there. We're going to shut down Times Square. Then that's when she rushed around to arrange a meeting soon thereafter. I think it was about 10 days or 7 days after I'd spoken to her. And that's when we met with the management of Times Square at City Lodge there by Linwood Bridge. That was around May, I think, May 2018. So, those guys were shaking, you know. Yeah, they were making tea for us. They were, you know, bowing down to us.
They knew something is not right.
Yeah, that's when I could smell something's not right. How can the general manager of Times Square make tea for me? You know, and even pour sugar for me, and even milk. You know,
brings it some more don't.
Oh, well, so, but it was a neutral venue. And that was unsuspecting. I didn't understand actually.
Sure.
I was just asking questions.
Yes.
But the behavior now made me suspicious.
Sure.
So now going forward, they pledged, when as Times Square, they will take over from where head office had left off. And I was a bit skeptical to say, but head office has all the money. You guys are just new. And how are you going to manage? They said, no, don't worry. We'll punch above our weight. So to assure me, they even gave me their, what is this? Some column, a template, of a column to say, fill in this column, fill in all the projects you guys would love to have, That column says, there's a section where you have to say whose project is it, like which organization and, things like that. Who's the beneficiary of the project. So we filled in that column. We filled in about 10 projects. And on our second meeting, we brought that list of projects to the management. And then they started to see what are these guys, they are serious. They don't want change. They want the real deal, the whole thing, as it was promised at head office. So they said, no, man, these things, they are too big. Let's start with something small for immediate impact. So as we were busy now, trying to find a smaller project that would have big impact in the community, I did my research on the internet to see why are these guys behaving so strangely, what's actually happening here. And then I came across an article, I think it was by IOL News. It was talking about the public hearings of Moreleta Park, how Sun International was being sued by Gold Rush, how Sun International was being sued by Piedmont Emperor's Palace, how they settled out of court with these guys, how they were slapped with a 950 million rand commitment by the public hearings of Moreleta, which were being held by the Gauteng Gambling Board upon the request of the Moreleta Park community. And funny enough, there was also a church behind these public hearings.
Baruti, man.
Yes, and I think it was the Methodist Church of Moreleta Park. You see, so the Methodist Church also is playing a significant role in staging these engagements. So now, after I'd learned that, on our follow-up meeting now, that was the third meeting at Times Square, when we couldn't agree, on actually, how much money was to be spent here, because they didn't want to talk about money. They just wanted to talk about small things, and it didn't make sense to me. So I raised the issue of the 950 million to say, but you guys were slapped with a 950 million rand commitment, and now you want to shortchange us 1,000. I mean, what is this? That's when people stood up in the meeting and they stormed out. Like literally, you saw a Buddhist face turn red and they are storming out of the meeting, And I asked, like, did I say anything wrong? Like, who did I offend?
Sure.
I'm just stating facts. I'm asking legitimate questions. They said, no, you're talking about things we don't know. You're coming up with your own stories and things like that. And that's when our engagements collapsed. I engaged a couple of comrades, around our neighborhood. That's when the EFF was starting to become, the party which was fighting for the little guy. And, they had this radical approach.
Sure.
And they were full of young guys. And, it resonated with me. So I approached the local EFF guys there to say, hey, guys, there's this case. I'm not sure if you're aware, but here's what's happening. There's a 950 million rand, which was stolen from our community and 1, 2, 3. So during my engagements with those guys, I did some research because everything I had received was from the media. Now, I started to engage the Gauteng Gambling Board. First by email to say, can you please help me with this? And then they sent me the BAIA forms. That's when I knew about the act, of access to public information and the forms. So I filled in the forms. I just asked for information that was related to the 950 million. And bam, they slapped me with the first license of Times Square. The first temporary license of Times Square. There in condition 18, it spoke well about the 950 million to say that this 950 million was supposed to be used to establish this internationally accredited academy at Morula. Now, since our project was to be at Morula, obviously our project was tied up with the academy, and also with the entire group. So in condition 17, we also read that they were supposed to establish a trust, for the benefit of disadvantaged communities of Tshwane. And they were supposed to also submit, the deeds for approval, the deeds of this trust. It is termed as the GEET Trust, which whose documents I'm currently having. They were emailed to me on the 14th of March 2019. These were the last documents we got from the gambling board from the previous administration, So during which time, actually soon thereafter getting the licenses and all these things, we lodged the
Explain case. Administration? The previous administration?
Or the CEO was Stephen Gubel.
Okay. Then you moved away from Bo Simon Gardner, Lebo Stevens.
Yes, they were no longer part of the picture. We only had one meeting, Lebona, and a few email communications.
So that was the leadership of SADC International.
Yes, those were the executives at head office.
And then,
yes.
And then now, Lebon Gobenik around 2019.
And now, Nancy, Times Square. He doesn't bring the guys by head office.
Okay.
Now, when talks collapse with the guys by Times Square, that's when I go to the gambling board to get the truth. And then after getting, enough information to see that a crime has been committed, that's when we launched the case. Go gambling board. It was around the 25th. Yeah, around the 25th of August, 2018. And I still continue to engage the gambling board to seek information. Even then, I was so that, corruption in South Africa. I wanted to learn as much as possible about this case so that if these guys, they get, greased to screw us. Yeah, then I know I can take the fight forward and also pursue criminal allegations against them to say that these guys have been corrupt. So that's when we got the deeds of the trust. And they were reluctant to give us these deeds. We had to go personally there after waiting for months. Hence, they were given in February. But if you can see the paia was filled in around early March or late October. But you only received the deeds 6 months later, the following year. So nevertheless, Lukwareni gave us the deeds. And when we went through the deeds, we realized, these deeds, they say nothing about Tshwane. But they claim, these are the deeds which were approved by the gambling board in respect to this relocation and the conditional license. So we waited for the report, the findings of the gambling board. In their findings, they found no fault in SADC International's actions, found no fault with the trust, the way the trust was established, found no fault with now the Plan B, which SADC International had come up with, because now what they did, they got this company from the UK, they gave them a tender, an academy called Pretoria East. So now you have this British guy coming to South Africa to tender SADC International. Now the 950 million community benefit is going to this guy from Britain who knows nothing about us. And we know very little about him. And that's what's been happening till today. And even today by Bata, they even have the audacity to say, we've spent 200 and so million thus far in bursaries and what funding this academy. But they forget, there are no disadvantaged communities in Pretoria East.
Okay.
And this academy was supposed to also benefit a disadvantaged community. And the spin-offs thereof.
So, how did it change from being the earmarked community to benefit from this northwest of Tshwane to be sent directly to the affluent area of Pretoria East, and who? Yes, imagine.
Linwood.
What actually? I just want to know who were the members of the steering committee who oversaw this, or by Katile, and it emerged a new. What happened?
All right.
Because I'm trying to follow you. It's as if they stopped talking to you, they started talking with other people.
Now, through our investigations, writing letters to the GGP, going to Sun International, demanding meetings and explanations, we discovered that, like I said, the article also, IOL,
Yes.
it said Piedmont was suing, Gold Rush was suing. Now, this is what happened. As a settlement, Sun International proposed to merge with the Piedmont Group. And then the Piedmont Group said, hey, happy we've got a case against you. So don't be coming here with stories just to, throw us off balance and put us off the scent, or take us off focus. So we agreed to merge with you, provided you sign this 900 million rand time-wasting clause to say that should you fail to pull this merger through, then you pay us 900 million rands for wasting our time, for promising us fantasies. And the CEO, Graham Steven, he signed that clause. He signed that 900 million rand time-wasting clause with the Piedmont. And now, on the other side, Gold Rush was fighting, saying that, we are making money in Centurion. And now, if you bring this thing of yours here, Mo Pretoria East, Mo Manley, you're going to take away the entire market. Now, from Centurion, from as far as Midrand, you're going to kill our business. So now, this is how the deal was reached. The Competition Commission, during that time, said, no ways, Piedmont cannot merge with Sun International. It's gonna be bad for the competition of the industry. It's gonna create an unnecessary monopoly in Gauteng, all these things. So guess what? It was payday for Piedmont. They are now supposed to get 900 million.
Because of the delay.
Because of time waste. I get it, the merger didn't go through. If should the merger fail, means we wasted our time. We won 900 million. So it was time for Sun International to pay up. Then we had Gold Rush now. They even had this story for 2 years, Komurula, you were operating without a license. We're going to take you to court for that. And we're going to succeed. So I guess they weighed their options to say, hey, yeah, there's a case here. So they settled with Gold Rush to say, we give you the right to occupy Morula because we are having 69 years remaining on our 99-year lease. So you can enjoy these 69 years, and we were paying 1,000 rand per month rent. So you can have the entire Morula sir for 1,000 rand per month for 69 years. I mean, any sane businessman would have said yes to that, especially now when you're adding a sweetener of 100 million, to say for your renovations, relocation inconvenience. Wow, here's 100 million kapolonyana, So Piedmont said, Gold Rush said yes. They signed immediate. Now they had to deal with Piedmont. 900 million was a lot of money because you must remember they gave money to Gold Rush. Now basetse ka change. Now banale budget 950 set aside for the academy. Now already said they want something for Gold Rush. Why? Who said Piedmont? The child they are short. bara Piemonte mona tlhalohanya re setse ka 675 million. Take it. A rena zakeng ha o tshwane le zero. And then the Piedmont said ya ka net hape it's almost 700 million. Ha e tshwane le zero ke mphiwa fela. Well, what I mean, 700 million for just attending meetings. I mean, they would have taken it. So Piedmont walked away with 700 million. Gold Rush walked away with Murula property and 100 million Kapolunyana. But to be fair to Gold Rush, we spoke to Teja, the Nduna there, you know, the PEE guy there, to say how much did they give you? Because Reina, her calculator from 900 million, it means you guys got 225. Why what? Because Bali they got 675. Why what? So no, we got money, but far less. Get 100 or far less.
Yeah.
There's no ways you guys got 30 million. There's no ways. Why what? So we just left it at that. But he explained his side of the story. Because now we're matchy. Well, when come 2019, the first match, come February, now go Gold Rush. So that's when these explanations came. Why what? And late February, Raya Times Square. Guess what? Valimusa ran on the eve of the protest. He resigned as the chairman of Sun International. And we're asking ourselves, such a big guy. Such a big guy. And I better go, we're not even sure that case arena, you know? Rapopola. So I put in my demand on Chava Morovia, chairman of an international company of Coloviana.
Uboni,
Chava, angry, it's wearing Rena. Sisiganagan as Chava. We never found out until this year. So, on the 29th of March, we went back because now we could see almost Hariawa Tobacha. We organized an even bigger match man this time.
Sure.
Why one? Hochava general manager. Why one? Hochava general manager even refused to accept the memorandum on that day, Marga February. Oh, it's a memorandum. Maybe it was at night. Felt his life was at risk. And over crowded, it's bigger, it's like 10 times bigger than that one.
Yes.
Now like 4 buses. We're blocking all the entrances that Times Square. They even had to evacuate the guests. Oh well, that's how much of a commotion it caused. And the police officers, to give them credit, you know, they complied with us. They understood our story. They allowed us to do our thing as long as we're not vandalizing or hitting anybody. Why when we're also not obstructing traffic. Mara Times Square na re kwets in that. Yeah, na re phakile di bese go di entrances tse tsotlhe. Why when VIP, you name it. Why what? They even use this other exit which we've never seen before. You know, to amara malomo. Hey, that day that you were. That was to who no wule amara malomo.
Yeah.
Di koloi di tswa ka mabolo. Re radi a go re bona dilo tse sa boneng ke ba swa. Why? But like I said, I think a month after, the general manager, he quit Times Square, but relocated to Sun City. And then they brought this other guy from head office. His name is Ruben Gurana. So, Uripresa Brett Hop, go Times Square. So now, COVID she a fit. And at that time now, you must remember, reporter Lee findings tsa gambling board. This was April, you know, like a month after these protests. But because we're busy with other community matters, we're busy with KCR, NTI, BTH. Why? Well, it's being looted, that company. And the only reason that company is being looted is because politicians are benefiting. There's no other reason. If you can look at that company, there's no other. Hence, even so many other companies, like it built di-transport infrastructure tsa di-Bantustan.
So where are you now?
So now ha ntse re le busy ka NTIZ COVID. Why what? Ha di sne di re COVID, 2020 was gone. 2021, because this was a legal matter, the court and di hula bit by bit. So we were a bit hesitant, to take this thing up Kaka 2021 because some things were still closed and we had limited resources and we had experienced the frustration.
O ska bitsa bolwetse bo la gapo do re bolwetse bo la ne.
Oh, bolwetse bo la. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So now it's a high 2022. Bolwetse bo la bo fitile.
Sure.
Yeah, re dilo di bulegile bjano re bona re dilo di a flow. It was a media briefing which the CEO Anthony Liming was holding more SABC. Kamo kwa area wa bana. Business is picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, ebile re na le 100 and something million ba go spend go Sun City kwa re polish up the place nyana es fakile nyana. Ke ra wa bana hore tšhelete buile ka hae. Yeah, ba thomo polish le moago ya khale.
Ba o vale
e ba bona le ko hae ha o tlo ba le lenyalo. Ke teka. Yeah, o kre go pentiwa bjano o petiwa garden o tlo no setsiwa lono ya tsusiwa bjano. Go rekwa le di fertilizer. Ke ra o ra bjano re a mekete. Wa le nna re ki ka tumetsenyana. Wa e re mekete thoma e be lo
budget.
Yeah, le nna ke mo budget e ba tseba re bo malome ba teng ka hae ba tlo flokanyana sa bona sa oja. Wa so we went to Times Square. That was around August. It was an impromptu thing. Re le majita fela, we were chilling. I was saying, hey guys, dilo ka re di butse ka re thomo bereke. Ha pa re tlo nna fela bya. Why what? Let's do something. Why what? And then we wanted to go the same day actually, but we agreed on okay, let's prepare nyana and go the following day. So the following day ra tlhakantsha ya makhura nyana. Yeah, the last 20 nyana tseo, the last 50 on re tlatsa le ke some businessmen wa rena o re kwanang lena. Why one? Rar. Men late. A re fitla kwa mona e ka re na re dupella ma. O itse dio tse di ga dira ke modimo straight. We tsore at that time we arrived. They had just signed deal ya ho rekisa the VIP parking on the adjacent side ya the casino or kamo morao ha arena. Now that property was valued at 200 million rands. But when we went there, we didn't know. Narno du pella felo ma. Oiti.
No casado.
Yeah, mo casabte.
La mate.
Yeah, mara re sa tlalo ha ke re bor tweng kakai. Why what income man. Why what? Mazing kaona kwa. Why what? So now re engage le bona ka taba tsa trust or guys, our previous engagements and our focus a lot more academic. But now this matter ya trust actually on I think it has arisen. Why what? So a re emeng pele ka academy ka re ra bona re setse le rile di plan B tsa lo. Why what? How about le re kopantshe le di trustees tsa this community trust? Re ba tlise on the ground but o bona the devastation ya bolwetse bola. Why what? The economic effects, mainly the economic devastation, because truly in numbers tsa mahu now they were artificial as we believe.
Sure.
Why what? So Gurana, because he was claiming to be new to this thing, but we also found out, soon thereafter he was not new to this thing. Because also, let's take a history, he was once the GM ya Morula San. He had a relationship with businessmen in the community and community members, There are some common people whom we both know.
Yeah.
The Baba prominent mo community arena. So he was promising. Lena like Brett Hoppe, he promised to I get a roll like my head. Get Times Square. And then also to take it a step further, get introduce a godi trustee tsale. Why what? But Gurana now a month just a few weeks later, because the follow-up meeting. So just a week or two later, Gurana wa responder. And I think we were there actually for a meeting. Le Gurana. Are o itse tabe ya di trustee e ka re tlo ba bothata. Re bjang bjano. Are diamonds man pila ba independent wa ba. So how are independent bjana?
They don't want to disclose the identity.
Nna ke le Gurana. No, identity ya ke tsore di digits tsa trust.
Yes.
Ke tsore le ID number tsa bona.
Yes. So flop-okay.
No ma phone during nako di protest. Yeah, it's a detail I left out. During the protest, we also met with the chairman of trust, Bongani Luvar. He's from the East Rand. He's a former ANC youth league guy, and he's younger than me. Marge chairman of trust yare, which offended me.
Like Makile Bambatuba, because
so okay, quite the teenage. Oh, so now, Luvalo, I can mutsi sorry. Wena o tlile bjang ka mo trust ya o tlile bjang wa identify le bjang gore be chairman ya trust ya re Arno chief na ke na le NGO ya ka ba bitsa what dads I think cool dads or something like that
from East Rand
and then ke na le relationship le Sun International through Carnival City because it's in that East Rand area.
Yes.
Why what so mara wa makatsa nna o ntshetse morao ka gore trust ke tse 3 ya ke tse 3 mona ke re le mara hao ye ke yone ba re file di-deeds tsa yona ko Times Square wa yona Gauteng Education and Economic Development Trust wa ke yone ba re file di-deeds tsa yona so nna hence re le mo wena a re no ebile e a ena tšhelete re ena tšhelete a re next ebile nna ke ya go ngala ka bona re go swela sopo mo le tšhelete ha ite
o sotsiwa bokae go e wa nyakeng
re re okay sits ora hona tšhelete re kopela o re emailele just you know 3 months bank statements efela wa on recent 3 months because obviously established 2016 became operational 2017 re ma approach ka 2018 na le ngwahanya so like 3 months bank statement will be enough. When there's no money. That was the last we heard and saw from him. Harmo phone like ignores calls, we ignore the WhatsApp.
Comrade.
Why when Nakongo numbers aside once I realize or get it stop or communicate. Why what? So now 2022 now. Defeat let's say. Renali Gurana le no di promise. So wa bo lena are able Luvalo ba independent bagna agena authority ya ba bitsa and funny enough the treasurer Ramakatela Mako he's a director cause an international head office he's actually the Oko finance
conflict of interest most
the job part of his work is to travel around the country and maybe around the world I check the finances study kasi why what but he's sitting as a treasurer, Kamara Community Trust, which is claimed to be independent of Sun International. Now, this community trust owns a company, which is the Tswane Community SPV. This company, it's already 4.1% over Times Square. Now, like you said, conflict of interest. This guy is an executive. He's a treasurer of independent trust, affiliating a community special purpose vehicle, which is holding interest in one of their establishments.
Mara competition commission ikai mara.
Nagitse a ona molao mo South Africa. Entse go tswa Ramaphosa since a tsena. Le ruleleng solar.
Ish.
Why what? Go le taba rena ba molao mme ba e bone. Why what? Maybe ba e bone go re aparetswe ke sepoko se seng.
So le kai no.
So no, re na le case ko di Hawks. Re na le case ko public protector. And then re na le case hape go gambling board because ke new administration. So now hands are really busy from last year up until now le gambling board. Hore case e go gambling board we approached Corruption Watch, after approach the public protector, to say that batho ba hao ba corrupt, and er suspect ke gambling board, corrupt. But then Corruption Watch responded by saying, no, the gambling board actually reports to the MEC, Economic Development, who happens to be Lebohang Mail. You
were told, guys, you were told.
So Lebohang Mail, he was reluctant at first when Tatena KC. But then I roped in these other comrades back about the National Economic Development Forum. And then Bagwala a letter to say, hey, chief, happy there's this matter. Lenarna interest him. Wagare uigire garaobon. And that's when now he referred the matter to the gambling board. Now, when he referred the matter to the gambling board, Sun Internationally, Iarabile egatselengwa her kotsofatsi. Why one?
Yeah.
So I arabagatsela sar kotsofatsing. Like for example, they say, and I'm quoting now, Lenny Ray.
Okay.
Is the head of compliance.
Okay.
Go Sun International head.
Sure.
So compliance here the casino that's all is on the shoulders star officially. Why one? So Lenny says, we vehemently state that the contention that there was a strict condition imposed on Sun International by a High Court judge in terms of the National Gambling Act and Gauteng Gambling Act regarding the relocation of the Morula Casino license is artificial. We confirm that we are not aware of any such strict condition or any court order which allegedly was not compiled with regarding the relocation. As the board is aware, the Morula Casino license was transferred to mainland May following all prescribed processes set out in the Gauteng Gambling Act. So, by Tomaga Kedi, no, condition academy are only in line with the Gauteng Gambling Act. I mean the National Gambling Act, let the Gauteng Gambling Act and its regulations. Now they're telling the gambling board, Mapodisha. Barmulao, le rinke mulao. Because now it's a condition on their license. Why what? Now, they go on to say, which is very surprising. Imagine when it's Mapodisha, drunken driving, naki nwele, marab auna mulaore naki skanwa kireila. That's essentially what they say. There's no law like drunken driving.
So the complaints guy better the gambling board and
yes,
intimates.
It intimates a gambling board. If up until today, this is a letter equal to a gambling board, 17th of February this year. In response now to this case, we refer back to gambling board. Now go gambling board, recreate a new CEO, Karabon Bell. Why? Nguben is gone. Recra a new head of legal. Why? Ke Chris Legalagar. He claims Oriana ebile anali 2 years ago, garunale AFL aleko. And then recra complaints babampia bo budila. Mara lebo chaba. I don't know whether she was the head back then, but naleko fuko officing ya complaints. At least she's still there. Why what? So now these people babota gambling board or molawale na se molao. Now they go on to further say, also it appears that Mr. Ntloko is confused about the trust-related matter.
Mr. Ntloko barawe.
Baranna yano barle naga half aben. Corona.
Wa shapu.
Yeah, ke wana fela ba tsiampila. Why what? Gambling board is mal, eges up mal. Why what? So bad. As the board is aware, now they're even gaslighting the board. They are about patronize abiano. And we be sort of how? The Northwest Community Development Trust, which is something we never knew about. We only found out this letter.
Or
There is a thing called the Northwest Community Development Trust. Rena all along we're given the Gauteng Trust, which was owning the Tshwane Community SPV. Now re botsi ka Northwest Trust, established in 2005, but it's holding 2.5% interest in Times Square Casino. Eva, trust tell you only sorry the shares ka mo. The dividends following from this shareholding will be destined for the benefit of the communities within the Tshwane area. Now it's funny. The dividends, it's from the shareholding.
From 2005.
Yes. It's communities are Tshwane. Communities within the Tshwane area. Marabarke Northwest Community Development Trust.
Actually,
Why what?
yeah.
The gambling board is actually a department within Sun International.
Isa.
Why what? They are the licensing department of Sun International. They do as Sun International says and dictates. Why? This letter, it will fire on the whole thing. How can a client, a regulator in this manner? I'm a gaslight directly so. And then they go on to say the trustees on the Northwest Community Development Trust are the original trustees as appointed during the operation of the Morula Casino license. Unfortunately, Times Square has not declared dividends since inception, given that it did not meet the liquidity test requirement contemplated in the Companies Act. So we know, but this regard molao o mong mara ha fetsa bona o tshwantse ba ntshe tšhelete ba iphitlha ka o mong. Wa ntlhalwa. And the Companies Act I absolve from honoring their obligations to our disadvantaged community. Because now if we go into the establishment of this trust, and it was established during the years of Morula. Now 2.5% it's once in dividends. 2% which was given in 2016. Now from 2005 to 2016, where is the money ya Morula? Arhane, you're saying the Companies Act mo yale kavara or le ska itshecha.
Ale dan lawyer alena.
Me bra it's case e tlhaloganya ke nna ke liwa. The lawyer, I don't know how much. Listen, Levone as a skele.
Community. Karanga people must join each other. And then
as we speak, has been disbarred by the Law Society. His papers have been taken away. And he's been practicing illegal for more than 5 years now.
So, because
was supposed to secure us from the onset, because I was there in that meeting where the head of legal, Joshila, told Lebona, you and I must start talking going forward, because there are certain agreements we have to agree on, draft, and sign for these projects and the relationship we are Sun International, the community alena, going forward. You see, from the onset, this thing was above board. Nice now what's old. Why what?
So where did you mess this thing up?
So this thing,
rephrase and apologies.
Yeah.
Vale no kile according to you.
All right. Rena no kile kai. Let's say 900 million relay.
Yes.
Get shelter rena shelter.
I understand, but vale no kile because you only had it really sniff at the media when you ask them Mashiane, Zaki was earmarked for you.
Okay, remember, hena kwe really busy, research, duty. Ne, we found out for now the date. Ta gold rush. reaching a settlement le Morula di correlate le di meetings tsa rena on the ground. Why? So now kanako eo Nancy na stay. These things now di rahala after Nancy a grand accident after April. Sa international tomo tsena mo di settlement tem biano le di Piemonte le di Gold Rush, and some events are unplanned. I mean, the competition commission, who knew or the competition commission was going to rule around that time? Why? So now so rena renokiwa ke he Sun International iluza the case ko competition commission
is settle Piemonte
le Gold Rush, because Gold Rush
ya lena e fa
zaka ya rene fa diamonds. And then now how do I level Times Square ran over budget by around 2 billion rands
when they were building.
Okay. Why? And then also number 3, the CEO Graham Stevens, he was actually dismissed early 2017. Why? Because he had landed the company in a precarious financial position. He was responsible for the company's global expansion, where they bought this other operation, Sun Dreams, but it was called something Dreams, called Latin America. So now this guy, he was buying properties and building properties and signing the clause. I initiated the merger. It was a very expansionary phase during the lifespan the Sun International. Why? A lot of money was being spent to a point whereby they found themselves now in debt. Banal di kolot. Why? And then say Piemonte le Gold Rush, they could not run away from them. Now the case is in court.
Pursuing this community,
so now Ramokopa Kosienzo was the mayor ya Tshwane.
Utsenaka is Sputla.
No, Sputla was our goalkeeper. As a community.
Sure.
Because he was even sent by Sun International to our community. A public meeting to say that
at the time I was wearing metal chains.
Yes.
So it should be before 2016.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? I get about to the March 2015.
Sure.
After they had, when Nancy came, but never heard these people about this. Why? And they were public hearings, so the stuff was in the media also. So when people heard in the media, Nancy on the ground, they started to panic. Murula yoba white elephant. But was strike or what was block.
Sure.
So Sun International, because they were also negotiating with the economic development department there as well for relocation. Sputla now became involved automatically. Hence Mamoroma, or Atle Mabopad, Ator Tsebisa Akede, or Reska strike. Why? Now when these guys, but Sputla and his department were the ones who were supposed to say, how can this be? Because the agreement was like this.
Which department?
The economic development.
Okay, I'll go presidency.
No, that's why. I get this institutional memory. You must have.
But 2017.
But 2017.
But Sputla never mkubile.
Yes, Sputla was 2016.
Yes.
Yes. However, the ministry or the department was still there.
Oh, okay.
The director general, they were still there.
Okay.
The executives, they were still there. And they were supposed to be the ones now who are following up to say that, but there was even an event, it's mayor to say or hobala kede. Now let's amail. Lirila Academy ko Pretoria East. What about the initial plans? What about the original plans? It was Lerena S20. Really endorse it. You must remember. S20. They endorsed the relocation. Based on that, Murula won't be a white elephant. Hence the mayor came to reassure.
It's fine, no problem. So nakina karetsolle this thing. Where to from now? Lena le lawyer because wo le bone ne batsa male lena and then because you can't win this, I'm telling you. That community, you will pass yourselves there. Let reveal who's actually funding you, because this is a very tiresome exercise.
So
Lena le lawyer now.
No,
class action suit, who's going to pursue this thing?
Corona.
Or like, well,
Corona no kam kori push tsenga teng mo 8 years. Wait see, as much as ditokoloshi tsa Ramaphosa di re distabile. Le modimo o teng and wa re berekela. You must remember now, in this response, yes, an international, where they go to say, as the board is also aware, Times Square also has the Gauteng Economic and Education Development Trust, GED Trust, as a shareholder. This trust approached Sun International direct for an interest in Times Square and is unrelated to the transfer of the Morula Casino license. So these guys, to say now we are going against your findings, Gambling Board, it's 2019. Your findings 2019 did wrong. Our submissions 2019. Submitted like Van Wyk. I respond to say that trust was established. Van Wyk is wrong. Ngubeni and his board are wrong. Trust sale asia arena. Azange ya arena. Trust ithaila go ithaila. Yata ya khopela funding. Raifa stake. So these guys, they've messed up their own case at the end of the day.
It means they've weakened your case, their case.
Yes.
Where to from here?
So now, from here, hence Relogite case Lady Hawks, and then we've also requested for the 5-year bank statement. Tsa Tshwane Trust. And then yeah, or Faitsi. You must remember the first time when this thing was being, handled in a corrupt way. He was the MEC Economic Development. Can you believe that? And then he went to Kokta. Johannesburg. He looked the other way. Now he's back. Economic Development. We are bringing this case back on his doorstep because it's a messy administration. His previous administration.
You are going to fight this as lobby group outside.
So now
outside courts?
No, we are going to court now. First thing, how can Gambling Board?
Did you file anything? Do you have dates?
No, I should file or file. How can Gambling Board a 45-year bank statement? It's a Gauteng Trust. And they're supposed to be regulating this trust.
So when Gauteng talks to you, what do they talk to you as? The name
of the Gambling Board?
Yes.
Okay, and Reina, we would complain as Mabopane Farmers Cooperative.
Okay.
Yes.
So is this separate from the entity that was named the steering committee at the beginning? The reason I'm asking this question,
not two separate.
Anonymous individuals, probably an individual, probably a community representative.
Okay.
According to them,
all right.
Because this is what they are going to use or why they deny to give you the statement and stuff.
Perhaps I forgot to mention this at the beginning.
Sure.
We had a registered cooperative during the engagements as Arenale Sun International. Why what?
The initial ones, so this is why I was asking you the structure or who was chairperson, who was, because I wanted to know what was the role of Lebone.
Lebone, Agiri was part of the community steering committee.
Yes, and he did not, but he was a signatory because he would advise legally.
Yes.
Yes, but that entity, what was its
name? It was not registered. It was just Mabopane Farmers, actually. It was also called Mabopane Farmers.
Part of Mobile Betile.
Yeah.
Because no really ring alebona. They can say, no, people just came, we don't know these people.
No, they can't say that.
No, they will say that if you go to court.
No, they can't. There's a history. Yeah, the emails and submissions. And you must remember there was a case in 2018. Koko Gambling Board. But you it's a rabatseba.
All right. As we speak,
so they can't deny us.
As we speak, you are still going to, if do you have a lawyer who will do this pro bono?
We have an advocate in our community, Orlando Merigisa, from time to time.
Okay.
It can be.
Who is he doing pro bono?
No, he's not doing pro bono. He's not doing pro bono, but he has a special rate for us.
Okay, lena lo fa ka manzaka.
Zaka, otherwise we fundraise more community, le mo di local businessmen.
You are beggars.
Not choosers.
So you are going to fight conglomerates, multinational corporations who are very wealthy as beggars.
My brother.
Because there's no one who's going to fund you. Yeah.
Why wanna case ya mapanya-panya? That case was opened around September 2023 by an individual, co-public protector. It took 25 months to conclude by the public protector. But just the findings, one document coming from the public protector. What's happening to Mapanyapanya? They are being dissolved. Yeah, and then a bailo since you are kai.
Maspa.
Marina guarantee or about to absorb work carbon. Because only you got traffic, you have a fail about Obama security ko maspala. Ko maspala, what Alma security as we speak. It's not like our Nama security.
And they're not insourced.
And they are not insourced. So the other panyaza we like as plate B. We can call it pie in the sky. The truth of the matter is people are unemployed starting right now.
No,
so Tawahore, these people are multinationals and everything. The Gauteng Gambling Board will be compelled by the public protector to revoke licensing at Times Square up until Sun International honors the commitment or the obligation to more licensing ya board. Number 2, the financials that the Gauteng Trust, they are riddled with corruption. Hence, Awabato refatso. So it's just a small court process. Even a needle advocate, even an individual, can approach the High Court in his capacity, affiliate in those forms. Agre excess, yeah, the financials. My brother, there's no way Sun International will go to court. It's already 5-year bank statement. That's a Gauteng Trust.
Thank you. Mashiane Politically Incorrect. But like as usual, I don't see them winning. Not because I hate their case, but whoever's going to assist them would have much rather wanted to eat with whoever ate with the others. Another community hero going to be a pariah in corporate offices. Unlikely chances of victory, of course. People of Ga-Rankua, they just tell me, I mean, this one, this is me reading it. This thing is shipped, violate, they're not going to salvage anything, they're not going to win anything. This is just me looking at how the chances of them, turning this thing around. It's been 10 years they've been on the ground with this thing. The people they've been working with, 9 years. 2016, 2015, 2017.
Crime happened in 2017. Like the case is.
Yeah, but around 2016. Yes. Yeah. So let's hope they win whatever they want to win. Sharp.